Welcome to the first stream and fight night of 2024. I am joined, as always, with Jacko, who is now going to throw us over with the weather report. What's going on with the weather where you are?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, here in Cardiff, it is a cool 5 degrees. It's a little bit overcast, and it's one of those chilly old nights. That's your latest weather. No signs, about a 10% chance of precipitation. That's your latest weather. Now back to Fish with the news.
So we are here again with Fight Night. Road to the Winter Cup is done. Winter Cup is over. Thank you everyone that joined us for Winter Cup. Excellent weekend. And yes, Jacko's back with me. Kiddie could no longer hold off the will to play. So we're bringing you 4 to 5 rounds of Final Fantasy.
Yeah. 2024, the year of 2020 more FFTCG content brought to you from your favourite channel for live streams every week. We are back, baby. I'm buzzed, as you can tell. I missed out on the Winter Cup, but I tuned in, I watched all the games back. What an event.
So good. Some of the matches we had were just absolutely stellar. Proper nail biters. And again, Mr. Hancock's taking the win.
No surprises there. I'm not gonna lie, I had massive FOMO watching all those games back. It looked insane. All the stories that came out of it as well. Sounds like it was a stellar event, as to be expected by the team here in Cardiff. Gareth and everyone else smashed it, and to be honest, mate, I thought you and Kiddie were awesome. I loved it.
Big head.
Yeah,
let's go. So let's just rattle off the usual spiel, guys. Join us on our Facebook, Discord, YouTube, next to mention Hobby Games and Media. Give us a like, share and subscribe. Again, we should hopefully be bringing you some new content, something a little bit different from just our usual cards content coming this year as well.
And it goes a long way, and it doesn't feel like much, just to give it a little thumbs up to those videos. It really helps us with the algorithm, get those views out there, spreading the good word, doing the Lord's work over here, getting more and more people in.
Why is it that you and Kiddie always go full biblical? We're not going biblical.
Hey, but praise the Lord!
But also, guys, again, we are partnered with Firestorm Games. If you want your hobby and geek stuff on the cheaper than any retail place out there, get onto our links. You can find those at CymruCactuars.com.
Yeah, not just the place for all the Final Fantasy shenanigans and content, also for tabletop games. We've got loads of Warhammer stuff, board games. I know I picked up a few things for the family, for the Christmas period. There is a massive range of selections, even all the way down to miniatures. You name it, they've got it. So be sure to check them out. On our Be Right Back screen, we should have our affiliate link. If not, you can see in the chat, which this direction. This direction. See in the chat the link. Yeah, to us. The link is there. So look us up. Use the affiliate link. It helps us out as well. A little bit of money back coming towards us, so we can up the ante and bring you guys even more stuff.
Yeah, that's it. Now we are still working on round 1 and the pairings. So Jacko, you said you've watched everything from Winter Cup. What was your highlight? What was your favourite match?
What was my favourite match? I would have to say the People's Champ, Jenny.
Oh yeah.
Final game of day 1. That last round, I absolutely love the fact that we tried out this new thing where it was no longer just top 16, it was top cut, it was your score. So if you were a 5-2, you knew you were guaranteed day 2. And I just think that added such an extra layer of competitiveness throughout the field. We've all been there. Like I was there with Materia Cup last year, had a good enough score to make tiebreak, but then you just sat praying, and I kind of knew that I was never going to make it because one of my losses was really early, and it's kind of a bit of a shame because it feels like you couldn't have done too much more. And no better way to showcase that than having the number 1 seed, who was EXO, and Steve, the number 27 seed, who was the last 5-2 to sneak in, meeting in the final. I thought that was just chef's kiss for flavour.
Man, it did absolutely make for great watching as well. The amount of games that we could put up where it was like, basically people are fighting for survival. Yeah. You know, someone is going home. It was excellent. Like, so, you know, Dale obviously fighting, sort of for his sort of 4-2 slot, which was really nice. As you said, Jenny, the People's Champ, going for her 5-2 slot.
So yeah, seeing that on stream, knowing that it was like, it wasn't just a case of, oh, I've got to win and then I've got to pray for my tiebreakers. It was, if I win here, I am in top cut.
I gotta say, I kind of hope they do that going forward more. I think
definitely.
it made it so much better. Any decks that stood out to you at all?
What deck stood out? Obviously, it was no surprise to see the Gigawall in there. I wasn't that surprised to see the Twins, only because I know a lot of other people were surprised, but we'd seen a lot of it here locally in Cardiff. I think a lot of people have picked up on how good they were in the meta at that point. I actually really liked the deck we saw first on stream, the one that Callum piloted. There's a list that's come out of Worlds in Japan, that Ice Water list. It was a list that I had built on the back burner as well after seeing, I think it was Kaka that ran that list at Worlds. I saw that list and I was like, man, that is bonkers. Had to give it a go. And so it was cool seeing other people picking up on that as well. I think our boy Alex here locally picked it up last week and I believe went 5-0 from what I've heard on the rumours.
So, yeah.
So there were some cool things. And then, chatting to the boys and girls when I came in today, hearing all about like people playing against retainers, like Final Fantasy 6. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't surprised to see some Final Fantasy 6 decks in the top cut. That was a nice little surprise. I wasn't expecting that, but also cool to see when you see decks that you think have had their time in the sun and you think they've kind of dropped off the perch a bit, make a surprise appearance. So, yeah, lots of cool decks that came out of it. How did you find it streaming then? Obviously, I've heard a bit from all the catch-ups and things.
It was long. I loved it. Like, we had such a great chat. We had like pretty much 80 viewers non-stop for most of the weekend. Really lively back and forth with them, which was great. And that made my weekend, to be honest.
Nice.
And I think it was a James Weston randomly stopped me while getting some food to say that he loved the content and stuff and was looking forward to you coming back and stuff.
Oh, well, James, if you're tuning in, we love you too. Thanks for having me and thanks for tuning in.
Do you know what, though? I will say, and I'm never doing it again, I'm not staying 3 nights in a row in a travel lodge.
Oh, really?
I did the entire weekend on about 12 hours sleep and I was dying.
God.
And as a result, as if any of you tuned in through the video or the stream, just after Winter Cup, where we had a bit of a chat with Steve D, James Duff, and a couple of the guys from Slice and Dice.
My boy Jono and I think Phil Sparrow, who I haven't met yet, but I heard he was down for Winter Cup, one of the new guys that they've got in their community.
Yeah, so I made it through that stream by basically a few snidey comments, obviously trying to keep the comedy going, but I felt like death.
Really? I absolutely love the fact as well that James Kiddie has been the first person to appear on an official Square Enix stream drinking beer.
Who else?
No one else. The man, the myth, the legend.
The drunken fist of FFTCG.
Cardiff's very own Prince Charming. Those luscious blonde locks.
Blonde? You need your eyes checked. I don't think I've ever seen a more ginger man before.
I'd say he's a strawberry blonde.
We'll go with that. He's also a massive Tory.
Oh, well, less of that. Moving on swiftly. Let's talk about the things that are coming up. We think there's still a Winter Cup on the horizon. I believe this weekend in America? I think, question mark? Question mark? I think it's a 3-team. I think so. They're teams of 3. I believe you can have the same deck list as well. I could be wrong. If you're tuning in from America today, let us know. But I think that's really exciting. I think it's the first major event we've had where the actual tournament itself has had a team element. I think we've seen team elements in side events. We had it as the main side event at Winter Cup. And so I think it would be the first time we'll see a major first time we've had a major as a team event. So I'm really excited to see how that goes. See if it has any success. See how people find it. I think that's a cool idea.
I'm still hoping for, if we're looking at sort of team stuff, FFTCG Ryder Cup, Europe versus America.
Fab, if you're watching,
we'll commentate.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
War across the waters sort of thing.
What would be a bit more easier, which we could definitely try and facilitate, and maybe this could be a goal for us for 2024, is maybe a Final Fantasy 6 Nations.
Oh, go on then. We got Gareth. Kiddie versus Mason.
Kiddie back behind the camera. Love it. Cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm going to get Fish to get everything set up while I chat some more rubbish. But yeah, if you're tuning in from Scotland, England, Wales, Ireland, tell us, would you be keen? Get some of the European guys over as well. A lot of French players tend to come over. I think a little Final Fantasy Six Nations tournament would be insane.
Oh, but Wales don't want to be taking no more wooden spoons.
Oh,
no one wants that.
No. Wales,
that's for the English.
Whoa, hang on a second. Wales haven't won the wooden spoon for a while.
No, we are pretty damn good.
And we won more Grand Slams than England in the Six Nations, I'm just saying. Anyway. So we've got Kiddie versus Mason coming up. We know Kiddie's on Final Fantasy 6. Do we know what Mason's playing?
Kiddie's running Cat 6.
Ooh,
if you heard that.
Cat 6.
Mason is running Mono Ice. Now,
Did you give him your deck?
I'm shocked. I'm shocked and appalled.
But
I've not given him my deck. I've actually taken apart my Mono Ice deck.
So the Reaper of Ice right here, going to be now criticising someone with Mono Ice over
I
there.
can't wait to watch Mason play better than I do.
It can't be as bad as Sammy Nash. Love you, Sammy Nash.
There's just no let off for Sammy. Any chance, it's just like...
Mate, he gives it as good as he gets.
He does. We love Sammy. We absolutely love Sammy. So looking around, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got a decent number of players here. Just trying to see if I could scout out. I think we've got around 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got at least 18 players here tonight, which is really cool. Maybe 4 rounds, maybe 5. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Kind of hoping for 4 rounds. Not sure I've got 5 rounds in me tonight.
With an hour's drive back, I could.
Yeah. Amen. Right, I think we're ready. Shuffling's going down.
Let's get over to gameplay live.
Let's do it.
So,
talk us through, Fish. Who have we got lined up where?
Kiddie on the left, my secondary commentator who abandoned me to go back and play and bring you back to us, and Mason on the right with his Mono Ice. Now,
Money is. Mason running Money is.
Oh, Money East. Oh God, that's because I put it in the wrong place and then I had to change it, and now, it's the first stream of 2024. Forgive me, guys.
Give me what's Money Oos.
Mono-Oos. Now, talking of Mono-Oos, what can we expect? Do you reckon it's going to be sort of rogue with the
I reckon so. I think a lot of more people tend to be going down that rogue route. I do think there is scope for more of a control-y build in Mono Ice, if people are brave enough to try and give it a go. But looking at his hand, I saw a Juggler, I saw a Nero, I think a Phasalis. What else have we got in there? So he's got a few backups in there. He's got a Nero that he could definitely open with should he choose to. Believe Kiddie's on the play. Edgar for Knight. No, Knight Samurai.
I was going to say, come on now, man.
I'm thinking of the ice one. I'm thinking of the ice one because he's playing both Knight and Samurai. Because Kiddie is trying Cat 6, but he's also trying it with the Crystal package because he's running the new Cyan Legend.
Yep.
Hopefully we can get it off later. Hopefully pairing it with the Cat 6 cards like Terra, the new one from the Dissidia box that gives you crystals when it enters if you have another Dissidia Final Fantasy, which Big Lock is in Cat 6. But he's also running it with, and we can see it in the hand. So you can't take the Setzer. I feel like you can see an Edgar in the bin. I feel like you removed the Edgar here. Yeah, that's 2 Edgars gone already. Kiddie will get a draw. But yeah, as I was saying, Kiddie is hoping to pair that Cyan with Go-Go in Cat 6, hoping to double down on some of the Cyan crystal pay effects by copying them with the Go-Go.
There's going to be a lot of potential board wipes there. It'd be interesting to see how much Kiddie goes into the full crystal package, whether it's going to be a case of he's going to pay 5 to get the the full whack off of the Cyan, but should be interesting to see.
Yeah, repping some beautiful full arts there. That lock coming down to pay for the set. No, to pay for the sets, man. Let the man talk. God, I better have been away a hot minute. Fish has already interrupted me. So Mason going for the Quistas, looking at the top 4, grabbing a Juggler. He's just hoping just to dig those backups and see if he can get on curve as quickly as possible. So not going for those really... Okay, and he's ditching it probably for the Nero. Yeah, so Nero's coming down here. He now opens up a couple of lines for him next turn. Mono Ice sweet spot is around 3CP because you've got a lot of odd costed things, such as the Phasalis, such as Orphan.
It did kind of feel like Nero and Vice kind of dropped out of Vice for a while, especially with this sort of more aggressive. We can see the rogue that was in the deck there. It is nice to kind of see this come back. I suppose it does add that little extra element of control that maybe the deck didn't have before.
Yeah, I definitely do think they're stronger in kind of more slow-based discard decks. I think the really aggressive mono-eyes discard decks, I don't think there's too much space for it because the aim of that deck is you discard them all, hand down to 0 almost in one fell swoop, and then you just kind of put the pressure on from there. So the Vice doesn't get a chance to see as many discards. Kiddie, I imagine it's just going to try and keep pace and get to 3 backups as well. He's got the Setzer, he's got the Interceptor, the 2 crucial backups he needs in this deck. I'd be surprised if we see anything else. Yeah, it's just a pass here. He can afford to take it slow because Mason is also taking it slow. And I believe we've got a Orphan now, so...
It kind of feels like the Orphan might be the right play here because...
So he's going to go for the Vice to get a discard. And he's going to Dull Freeze the Setzer, and then we'll probably see an Orphan come down as well now.
The Phasalis would be nice, but...
Yeah, he's got double Vice in hand. We know Kiddie's got an Amaterasu because we saw it earlier. I wonder if we'll see him. He'd have to discard 2 and play the Amaterasu to Amaterasu the Orphan. I wonder if we'll see him do it. I feel like you should because you're going to end up getting a Dull Freeze on your backup as well as losing the card because the Vice is on board as well.
I genuinely think that he probably should have done this on the Vice though first.
But
I suppose the discard is coming from the Nero, isn't it?
Yeah. You could Amaterasu the Dull Freeze, but you have to discard first.
Yeah. And there's those lovely Amaterasus, guys. Get your promos while they're hot.
Although I think that is a neat full art Amaterasu there from Kiddie. No desecration with January 2024. No desecration with re-raise. That is fine. Just clean as it comes.
Everyone wants that card. Everyone wants it in full art. To be honest though, as much as the artwork's alright, not my favourite full art they could have done.
Yeah, I think it's good. I really like the fact that they have. Brought it out as a promo. I think it's great for people to be able to get access to that card if they've joined since playing.
I would love them to bring out some full art Kuseths on there, because I ain't never getting them in foil or full art at the moment. They're too pricey.
Oh, I know. Yeah, Kuseths, Mist Dragons. Ooh, okay, so swinging in with the Vice. Just going to take the damage there. So Mason's going to get the Crystal for the Scholar, but at 3 backups, going to 4 with the Scholar, so no draw off the Scholar. But he's left with a Vice in hand and a Lightning. Let's see what Kiddie's got lined up here. So we're losing an ICP.
I don't think that's really going to matter for him. I think he's just waiting for the right time to be able to kind of go off here a bit, right?
Yeah, well, exactly. Like, Kiddie's not threatening much of a board right now. Now he's going to start threatening a board. Let's see if he can hit a Celeste here. He hits a Celeste. Is he going to take it? Or I think he's got 1 in hand. So he's thinking maybe Terra could be a good option here if he wants to try and get a discard down. Try and play Mason at his own game to get him down to 1 card.
Is the Celeste maybe a good idea and just play the backup though?
Okay,
I
think he's going to take the Setzer. Well, yeah, he's got the Celeste in hand. So you're probably going to see tap 2, discard the Setzer to play the Celeste in hand.
And you called it.
Interesting, he's just gone for discard 2. Probably so he can intercept to haste the Celeste, get a couple of Dull Freezes down.
Or get something back, because we know 2 Sabin are in the bin right now.
Yeah, so I think we'll see a discard here, and then we'll probably see the lock be given. Okay, no, he's going to search for a lock. Interesting.
Old school 3CP lock.
I would have been inclined to go for. I think Kiddie's food thing is just distracting him. I would have been inclined to maybe go for the discard. I guess you kind of want to keep some sort of pressure up, but the thing with this is knowing you're playing against Mono Ice doesn't have a whole heap of break effects.
Whoa now, Mason, I think we're going to combat here, buddy.
Yeah.
Let's get that damage. So, initial point from the lock and
the
Celeste.
Does the lock have haste?
No, it does not.
No. So he's used the Interceptor on the lock. Yeah, so the lock hasn't got haste. The lock gets haste if you've got the new Celeste that's paired with it. So he'll get a trigger from Celeste. He'll be able to get that Edgar that he put in the bin earlier. Lock will then deal a point of damage. And another point of damage from the party itself. Setter's going to get a Dull Freeze, so he's going to Dull Freeze. None of the backups do anything, so you could just Dull and Freeze the backup down. You don't mind taking a bit of damage here from that Vice, so... Okay, so Mason has drawn a Sid Randall and maybe a Rufus, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's a Rufus.
If the Sid Randall will do a lot here. It looks like he had a Lightning there as well, which I also don't think will be too great. Unless you can get rid of those 2 in hand.
Yeah, and also Mason needs to be quite careful here because he's caught in between a bit of a rock and a hard place in that if he needs to play the Sid Randall to stop this Edgar coming back and getting 2 things back. But even if he does that, the Edgar probably still comes down and then he's got Edgar Sabin online and Mason's probably got no real way of dealing with it.
Yeah, like again, we've got the Rufus in hand, we can get a discard that way, but it's only 1 and I don't think it's enough.
No, you need to discard both, I
think that is what Mason is kind of studying his card for right now. No, I don't think he's got it. If you play the Sid, it's just going to get nuked next turn. To be honest, I think if you play anything here, it just gets nuked next turn.
But then if you play nothing, Vice gets nuked next turn.
Yeah, exactly that.
And this is part of the problem with Mono Ice, is that it does lack some good removal options. Y'shtola went a long way in solving that. Obviously, seen no Y'shtola just yet, so he's going for the Rufus. Yeah, we see him discard the lock. And getting a Dull Freeze here. The thing as well is that he's got the Edgar, so he can either use the Sabin effect to nuke 8k, but if Mason chooses Dull Freezer forward, he could always use the Sabin S off the Edgar to activate all his forwards anyway outside of Sabin.
Exactly. So. I think what Mason has done here though is the right call. Dull Freeze the backer. Because now you're going to make sure that it gets rid of Kiddie's hand.
I think Kiddie's drawn a Go-Go as well. So he can basically play this Edgar and grab back the Go-Go. Yeah, Go-Go and then whatever CP you want to discard.
That is nasty.
And then play the Go-Go. And
now we're just off to the races by the looks of things.
And now both this Vice and Nero can easily die.
Man, what a contentious name Edgar is. So many good cards named Edgar.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Mason has just jumped the gun.
He's ready for that damage.
The party attack is going to come in. 2 points of damage coming in. James is going to be able to pick something in his break zone. Mog's a good shout here because it will be for free, and you'd be surprised if Mason has access to... Yeah, okay, he's just choosing to freeze him out with the Celeste.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I think that's a better call because you don't know the list in a blind environment, and there are some Mono Ice lists that could, in theory, be playing Shinryu. So if you don't freeze out all those backups, there is a world in which Mason could just go Shinryu and then Tidal Wave.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, with it costing 2 CP right now, that could be a very big possibility. But unfortunately not for Mason right now, because we are going in with the Reno and a Lightning.
And he's just going in for the tiebreakers. Hits the damage, passes the turn, Lightning's going to do damage, and that is all she wrote.
Oh, that was unfortunate. Again, one of those games that could have gone either way, and it just looked like Kiddie pulled the trigger there at the right time.
Yeah, I do think Cat 6 is favoured in this environment. There's actually a lot of draw effects. There's a lot of... It's just efficient, and sometimes what you need to deal with Cat 6 is you need instant speed removal to hit those Edgar targets on the stack, and Mono Ice just doesn't quite have that at the moment.
That's it. Well, guys, we will do a quick be right back. We will get Kiddie, who's used to sitting this side of the camera, over for a little chat, I think.
Let's do it.
Be right back, guys.
And guys, we are back fresh off our first round of 2024. Back playing away from the camera. We have our winner of that round, James Kiddie. James, tell me, do you think fish that never come to the surface know they're underwater?
Well, it depends. I mean, if you look at the perspective, I mean, what if we're over water?
Wow.
I mean, these are the questions we need to be asking ourselves.
And I guess we'll never really know what goes on in the mind of a fish when it's like swimming round and round in circles, especially with a memory of like 3 seconds. So we'll never know the answer to that, but we will know the answer to the question is, has he still got it? And yes, he has.
Not too shabby.
James Kiddie, back with FF6. Talk us through that game.
It was completely the opposite of what I expected.
Interesting.
The matchup dictates mono ice cat 6 that we played very aggro, probably from turn 1 if not turn 2. Yet we spent 6 turns just playing backups between us.
See, I would disagree because I chatted to Mason about this and he said to him, it's like, oh, it's a bad matchup. I think it's a really good matchup for cat 6 because what ice doesn't have is instant speed removal. Mm-hmm. So once you've got Edgar Sabin online, ice doesn't really have a way of dealing with it.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think the reason I think it's ice favoured is in that first two, maybe 3 turns, ice can do some real damage. And if ice does manage to do some damage from there, cat 6 finds it very difficult to recover because things can get finicky very, very quickly. But once it got past that point, especially when I got to 3 backups, I felt a lot more comfortable. And then I drew into the lock finally. Because the first lockouts you had to discard because of I needed it for the set.
We needed it for the set. It's the only
ice card I'd seen. Apart from that, though, and then I think it was a big turn I drew a bit later on when I drew Lock Celeste. Or something to get Lock Celeste. It was perfect. Yeah.
Well, also, like, you kind of were given free reign to take it easy because Mason was just putting down the backups. And you kind of perfectly hit the Setzer and the Intercept without having to work too hard to get them. And then once you got those 3 backups with the Setzer and the Interceptor, you then... we did think, at the start, it's like, could it be crucial that you lost the 2 Edgars really early? Because you obviously discarded the Edgar at the very beginning, and then when he ripped the Edgar with the Kate Sith, I was like, okay, that's 1 removed from game. You potentially could be in trouble if you can't get hold of it, and then that's when obviously the Celeste showed its power, being able to get that Edgar back.
I was happy with it. Do you know, I'm actually slightly annoyed, and I wanted to try all the new cards today. You know, the Cyan, the Shadow, these sorts of things. And that game just felt exactly the same as Opus 20, right? Business as usual. There was, I think the key turn was when I managed to play the Locking Celeste, but also net the draw off the Celeste, because I knew I was adding back the Edgar, but you're obviously playing against ice, so you have to bear in mind that...
Well, we said that as well, and I said at the time, I initially thought, maybe you should get a discard because we put Mason down to just the 1 card. But actually, it was definitely the right call because on the following turn, Mason had the Rufus in hand. He knew you had the Edgar in hand with 2 cards, but he only had 1 discard out. Like it was sat being like, if he needs to play something to discard 2, and if he doesn't, the Edgar comes down, and then that's game over because everything that's hitting the board at that stage is Vice, is Rufus, is Reno. They're all 8k or less. So Sabin is just going to pick them off, and then when he drew the Go-Go to go with the Edgar, and then grab it straight back, snipe it straight down, and then you can just see Mason was like, whatever, the game's over now.
I have a massive love-hate relationship with Go-Go. It's actually come back in because of the new stuff, the Terror and the Cyan are the first 2 that come to mind. Being able to 18k board wipe is pretty. It's maybe a bit overkill, but we enjoy it.
A little bit.
So after obviously Fab's announcement from Winter Cup, a lot more tournaments, or bigger tournaments apparently. What's your target? What's your goals for 2024?
We're going all the way.
All the way, is it?
Baby!
We're going all the way.
And I'm going to commentate it all for you. I'm going to big you up like a motherfucker.
We're going to be your lucky charms. We're going to...
I hit my goal for last year. I made Euros. I was happy with that. This year we've got to take it a step further. Topping Euros would be great. Be really happy with topping Euros. After that, we'll see what happens. But you take it a game at a time, a set at a time, and we enjoy the ride.
Aim big. Aim big.
Can you put in a challenge to the world champ?
I'm not far yet.
I believe in you.
One step at a time.
I believe in you. Nice. Well, that was awesome. I think we are getting more scores getting put in, so we're getting ready for round 2. We're going to be right back. Catch you guys.
Have a good one.